Our mission is to inspire, educate, and motivate young people across the Caribbean. This is the Vision Seekers podcast, where views collide, founded by Amanda Webley and Shawala Richards during the COVID-19 pandemic. But VSP is more than two. We are a team dedicated to seeking out and presenting solutions to the problems that matter to you through open and honest conversations. Stay tuned.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Vision Seekers podcast. My name is Ariel Simmonds, and for today's episode, we'll be talking about Beyond Our Four Walls, a new series in which we'll be exploring different parts of our Jamaican culture, particularly Jamaican cuisine. So for this episode, we want to be talking about Tasting Paradise, a culinary journey across Jamaica. And we are joined by very special guests. We are WongaGyal and Naomi of Naommings food blog. And before we go into our who our guests are and so on, we just want to remind you, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from the Vision Seekers podcast, where views collide. And for today, the quote is, "Savoring the flavors of Jamaica is not just a meal, it's a celebration of life, a dance of spices, and a symphony of taste that lingers in the heart long after the plates are empty." I don't know about you, but just talking about that just made me feel like I could eat some nice Jamaican food. Dinner time is not yet. It's not yet, so I won't work myself up too much. Now let's get into who are our guests. So let us start with we are at WongaGyal, and then we'll go to Naomi of Naommings food blog. So you're gonna tell me what's your full name, nationality. You can tell me about your business, and tell us also, why are you passionate about food? So we'll start with we are WongaGyal.
Hi everyone, my name is Tiana Chung, otherwise known as WongaGyal. I have also another page called We Are WongaGyal, which is actually my business page for Wonga Media, which is a boutique digital marketing agency that actually I kind of just recently properly formally launched in the end of 2023. But yeah, my food brand as well as the brand of my business, we really do focus on food and food marketing. I personally have a very, very, very deep interest in food photography, food as it relates to culture, food history, especially through the Caribbean lens. Obviously, I am Jamaican, and so it's something that I grew up around, but it wasn't until that I was able to travel to other Caribbean countries and kind of experience the similarities, but also very vast differences in their cuisines, that I really was like, whoa, okay, food is actually really, really interesting, and there's way more to it than just, the taste. So yeah, that's kind of a little background on me and why I'm here, I guess. And yeah.
Thank you very much, WongaGyal, aka Tiana Tiana Chung, for joining us. Now we'll hear from Naomi. Introduce to us, tell us your full name, your business, and why you're passionate about food.
Hi everyone. So my name is Naomi Blake, and I am Naommings. So that's the name of my blog. Food blog is Naommings Food Blog. I'm a trained chef. I just finished university this November past. I studied culinary arts and management. Thank you. And this food blog, or what food really means for me, is it's definitely started at home. My grandma is a caterer, was a caterer. She does all sorts of things food related. My mom also did a little bit of catering, and so I grew up around it, and it kind of became my life. I really wanted to be a chef when I was younger, and I was introduced to the photography side of it, and that's where I really have found my love. I'm training in that area now. Tiana is one of my biggest inspirations, actually. So I really love food. Jamaican cuisine is near and dear to my heart. I do also really love exploring other cultures, other food particularly. It is one of my biggest dreams to go on a food tour of Asia, of Europe, and just eat. So I love food, and I'm happy to be here, happy to talk about it.
And we're very happy to have you. And also, it's so awesome that someone that inspired you onto this path, you're here now communicating with her. So I'm very happy that to see like how really in real time one person's step forward has inspired another person's, just to make that decision, because sometimes you don't know, like there's a business in that industry until you see someone like actually do it first, and then that kind of gives you a blueprint of what I can do. So I love to see it. So we're now going to start off. The icebreaker question is, what's the secret ingredient in Jamaican food that makes it a worldwide sensation? Is there a secret ingredient? What do you guys think? Let me just continue with Naomi, since you just finished speaking. Do you think there's a secret ingredient? And if there is, what is that?
So I would have to say it is our attitude towards food, or attitudes toward our culture. So we're very passionate as a people, and it comes out. Some people would say, like, especially when in the US, you find that a lot of people they don't really like going to Jamaican restaurants because, like, oh, this bad treatment or this customer service. But I think it's a passionate thing. We are very passionate about what we do, about our food. And so how we cook it, how we serve it, I think comes out in that. And yeah, I think that would be the secret ingredient. For me, I know that everything I cook, if I don't cook it with passion, it don't taste good. I don't feel like it tastes good, and I feel like other people taste it, and if they say it tastes good, you're lying. I know that if I didn't put my heart and soul into it, then it's not it for me. And I feel like a lot of chefs out here, a lot of people cooking, that's what it's all about. It's about the heart and soul. It's about the passion.
I love that answer. What do you think, Tiana, is the secret ingredient?
So I agree that I do believe that, boy, the secret ingredient for Jamaican food is Jamaican people. And it's kind of just, that was such a good answer, Naomi. I'm not gonna lie. It was like, it really was just like hit the nail on the head. As it relates to, I guess, the more nitty-gritty of food, to take secret ingredient as in the literal sense, I think there is a special blend of, you have those staples that kind of go in almost every Jamaican dish, right? Your onion, your garlic, your pimento or your allspice, of course, your Scotch bonnet, like a scallion. Lastly, very, very lastly, I think one thing that is kind of our secret ingredient too is the fact that we wash our meat with vinegar and lime. I know that's not a uniquely Jamaican thing. I know a lot of countries that, do have African ancestry do that, but I think the vinegar and lime 100% is more than just cleaning. I think there is a extra oomph of flavor that is added that I think could also count towards our secret ingredient for sure.
I agree as well. It makes the difference. So staying on you, a friend is visiting from abroad. What's the first Jamaican dish that you would introduce them to? Just like, for the beginner, you don't want to give them like something too strong, but you want to like introduce them to a flavor of Jamaica. What would you say is a good first dish?
100% it have to be a patty. Like, I am definitely like, and I think I have had friends come here, and that is kind of the first thing that they've had. If it's not a patty, I'm not gonna lie, it's KFC right at the roundabout out by Harborview. Just because I think, boy, Jamaican KFC really is a delicacy. It's a real love-hate relationship that we have with them right now, but I think it is, as much as it is a international franchise, it has a very unique Jamaicanness about it. But I would say if it's not KFC, it's definitely a patty. Whether tasty or juicy patty, I don't care. A patty. I know a lot of people come here and they want a patty, so that is definitely one of the first things I'm treating them to.
I agree. A patty is a nice introduction, but I do think it cares if it's tasty or juicy. But that's a different conversation. We're not going there. We're not going there. Naomi, what would you say is the first dish that is a good starter for a foreigner?
I would have to agree. A patty is definitely like an essential. KFC is a close run-up, but I would say if it was like a proper meal, like we're going to sit down at a restaurant, curry goat. Straight off the bat, curry goat and rice and peas. No white rice, curry goat and rice and peas.
But like spicy though, the curry got to be, because you know some people, they're not ready for that spice. They're not ready.
Need the introduction. They need straight off the bat, the flavors have to punch them. If they don't like it, okay, but you have to try it.
That's a fair point. Yes, go ahead, Tiana.
Listen, I forget baptism by fire when the curry goat is. Listen, I'm sorry, we're not dialing down the spice level to cater to you. You're gonna get it the authentic Jamaican way.
You know what? It's go hard or go home. It's go hard or go home. You're right. Okay, now, so Jamaica is a melting pot of cultures, right? What would you say is the some styles of cooking, some recipes that would reflect the different ethnicities? Yes, that's a better word, within our country. You have African culture, Chinese, Indian. What are some that you'd like to share?
All right, so I think what is really special in Jamaica, you're not going to find anywhere else, is Chinese food. Our Chinese food is heavily influenced by Jamaican food, by Jamaican seasoning and so on. It is not our culture. It's not Chinese culture. It's a part of Jamaican culture, but it is something that I feel like is so niche. But it is, you're not gonna find Jamaican style Chinese food anywhere else. It's special, and I feel like that area, that portion of the population has influenced the wider Jamaican society, because every Jamaican I know love a Chinese food, whether it is from a Chinese cook shop or whether it is from a Chinese restaurant, like one of the many Goldens that are out there. So that, I feel like that is one specific area, or cooking style. Another cooking style or technique I would say, which is unique to Jamaican, is jerking. So the jerking style of cooking is, I feel it is the grilling, which is the actual cooking method. It's widely accepted worldwide, actually. So, but the Jamaican jerk style is uniquely Jamaican. It is over pimento wood. It is, so that, I feel like it's influenced by many different types of culture. The tainos cooked over open flame on wood, and I feel like it just has adapted and become what it is now, with our many various influences. So I feel like that is something that is uniquely Jamaican, and nobody can take it away, because it's always, jerk is something that represents us abroad. Jerk is something that we Jamaicans love, and yes, I feel like those are my top two cooking style and techniques that I feel like have influenced us and will continue to represent.
That's a nice. I didn't know you'd go the Chinese route, but you're right. Like I really feel like our Chinese food won't taste the same anywhere else in the world. It's very much, it has a lot of influence from just the African and probably some, let me not go into it because I don't know the history, but you're right. It is very much Jamaican Chinese food. Okay, so now Tiana, what would you say is a style that you would say it has a lot of influence, or a particular recipe?
Yeah, just I guess kind of piggybacking off of Naomi's answer, I think when a lot of people think of Jamaica and Jamaican cuisine, the first thing they're going to think about is jerk. And whether it's the act of jerking, which of course, as Naomi said, is, grilling the meat over the pimento wood, or just using jerk sauce, I think, and I have been, so I thought about this question a lot because I saw it in our little brief before. And I did do some research, and I thought that it was very interesting how, you know, jerking is so authentic to Jamaica. It is such a Jamaican thing. It is such a big part of brand Jamaica, right? But I know a lot of times people just take that as, oh, jerk is just a Jamaican thing, and that's just that. In their heads, they just leave it as that. And I know in school we learned that jerking originated from the Tainos, and which is very true. Their whole, you know, method of cooking over the pimento wood, that's theirs. That 100% belongs to them. But then I went on to think about the ingredients that come into a jerk sauce, right? And you think about where those things came from, and they're not authentically Jamaican. If you think about it, garlic and onion are not native to the Caribbean at all. They were brought here, you know, when the Europeans decided to come and put them foot down over here. But those things, you know, the Tainos were not cooking with scallion. They were not cooking with garlic. Those are all Asian things. They're native to Central and South Asia. So I think in a way, jerk really does embody the idea of the, you know, or diversity as it relates to culture, you know, because I think when you think about Scotch bonnet comes from West Africa. As I said, the scallion, the onion, the garlic are all coming from Asia. So you're getting these influences that come from all over the world, that really and truly were brought here by the unfortunate act of slavery, but they were brought here through that process nonetheless. And I think, so, you know, I do think jerk is such a great representation of our history, and something that I think, you know, obviously it has now become bottled and packaged for international export, but, you know, I think it's such a great representation of us as people.
That is so true. Like, it's trademark Jamaica. When you hear jerk, you know Jamaica. And really and truly, the hard history created a beautiful culture. You know, it's sad to think about it, but, you know, everything that happened brought us to the point that we are now. I think even like us using cassava as a meal in general also has roots with the Tainos, because from what I heard, if you don't prepare it right, you could like actually harm yourself. It's not something to play with. So like bami, I think that's also like very much Jamaican. I don't know of anywhere else that does that. So I think that's also another thing that's very, very Jamaican all the way back before colonial times. So onto restaurants. I know that a lot of our viewers, they like to go out when they have a little extra change and so on. So in regards to Jamaican restaurants, have you come across any interesting ways that they have adapted Jamaican recipes through your travels? Starting with Tiana.
Well, let me just start off by saying I'm not the biggest world traveler. I'm getting there, but I will say I have traveled a lot in the US. I went to college in the US, so I was able to, you know, travel across North America, as well as I've been to a couple of places in the Caribbean. And I will say that an interesting take on Jamaican food that I've seen in my travels is the variation of patty overseas. So, you know, I feel like patty in Jamaica is very like, you have beef, you have chicken, maybe you have a vegetable patty, and a soy patty, maybe, right? And then of course you have Devon House that have the curry goat patty and the shrimp patty and da. But one could argue that that is not for the common Jamaican person, the Devon House patty experience. But in America, you know, I will say them not have the patty recipe at all. Nowhere in America has the authentic patty recipe, but I do think that their take on it sometimes can be very, very interesting. I've seen patties filled with ackee. I've seen patties filled with spinach. I've seen a beetroot patty, you know, and I think and of course the people responsible for this tend to be diaspora people, right? Jamaicans who, you know, either they left Jamaica themselves, or them grandmother was Jamaican, them mother was Jamaican, and so they themselves have been influenced by a lot of these American flavors, and so they're trying to do this fusion thing. You know, and I think some of those experiences that I've had have been very good. I had a vegetable patty. Honestly, I think the best vegetable patty I've ever had is from this spot in Atlanta, Jay's Caribbean Cuisine, and it have carrot and cabbage, and it cooked down well nice. It is not Jamaican at all, but just the idea of Jamaica is definitely in that patty. I've definitely also seen things like oxtail tacos, jerk chicken sushi. And so, you know, we large, that's all I can say. Jamaica large, and or culture is definitely permeating through other cuisines all over the world, and it's a very impressive thing for sure.
Oh, I think it was really the beetroot patty for me. That's something to experience. Naomi, we're gonna take your answer, and then we'll have the last question, and then we'll wrap it up because we're coming down to the last 10 minutes. So go ahead, Naomi.
Okay, so I also am not the biggest world traveler. I haven't done much traveling, but in terms of restaurants, I don't feel like I have encountered a lot of fusion. But I have done a lot of internet searching, and through my through that aspect, I have found lots of recipes. That one particular that sticks out to me is this recipe for ackee, or vegan nachos, which used ackee to make the cheese sauce. And I actually tried it, and it was quite nice. It wasn't cheese sauce, but it was quite nice, and it used the tinned ackee to make that cheese sauce with some nutritional yeast and some other seasons and spices, and it was quite enjoyable. So I feel like in that was kind of a good representation of different ways that we wouldn't have thought about, because I had never come across anything like that. I would have never used my mind to say, I can use ackee to make this cheese sauce. The reason I think it came up is because it was yellow, like it looks like cheese sauce. And so but when it was actually cooked, you cook it down, you season it up, you add your spices and whatever, and it was quite nice. And it definitely tasted like ackee. So if you don't like ackee, then not something for you, but it was quite nice. So I feel like, yeah, it gives a good representation of the things that you can actually do with something we use typically for or a certain set of recipes, you know?
I would definitely love to try that. That sounds delicious, actually. So with our last question, staying with you, Naomi, where would you say is like a hidden gem restaurant in the Kingston area that you would recommend to someone? Because, you know, sometimes like people know like the regular spots and so on, and they might want to try something new. So if you had one place that you could suggest to somebody, what would you say?
Okay, so I'm a box food girl through and through. And so my top box food recommendation would have to be Seasoned to the Bone. It's a small restaurant, very small restaurant I would define it as a cook shop, but it is in Stony Hill, right beside St. Jude's Church. And I grew up in Stony Hill. So anytime I wanted box food, heading to the restaurant, I would walk, I would run, I would drive. The food to me, it's like, it's regular. I would define it as regular food, but trust me, that is my number one spot. I don't feel like I've had the same kind of experience because it feels like home to me. It feels like I know everybody in there. And the food you lick a 10 finger and when you finish eat, the box mash up, the fork mash up, every rice grain, you know, anything that they make, whether it be stewed peas, whether it be fried chicken, it was just so good. And I highly, highly, highly.
Thank you for that recommendation. And Tiana, where would you say is a nice little spot that the people can check out in the Kingston area?
All right, so I'm not gonna go the box food route since Naomi went the box food route. I'm gonna give two spots. My first spot would be Pizza Please. Now you might be like, girl, pizza, please. Why? Pizza? But let me tell you about their jerk chicken pizza, their jerk pork and pineapple pizza. Y'all sleeping on it. People are sleeping on it. And, I think it's the food is great. It's a night. You can buy it by the slice. I want to say it might be one of the only places in Kingston that you can actually buy pizza by the slice. So, you can really taste the different things. And oh my God, the owner, he's awesome. He is an Italian that has been living in Jamaica for how many years? And so his whole thing behind Pizza Please was to marry Italian and Jamaican flavors. And I think he does it exceptionally well at Pizza Please. So I would definitely encourage anybody to go there. I would also encourage everybody. I know people think that this place is just like a name, but let me tell you something about the jerk chicken spring rolls at Tracks and Records. Tie me. And I feel like them tie everybody that I carry there. And I know a lot of people feel like it's this, it's a franchise, it's Usain Bolt, the food can't be that good. But let me tell you, if the only thing you have from there is a jerk chicken spring rolls, you're going to have a great time. So yeah, those are my 2 recommendations.
And I will definitely be writing them down. And when I have my little money, go and buy myself some spring rolls. Go visit that little cook shop. And I've tasted Pizza Please, and I can say, yes, they have the best take on pizza that I have tasted. It's really lovely. The variety, wonderful. The fact that you just told me that the owner is Italian, I'm like, that's why. Okay, so thank you very much, WongaGyal and Naommings food podcast for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. And just before we close off, you can shout out your social media pages or any other thing that you would like at this time, starting with WongaGyal and then Naomi.
Yes, so follow me at WongaGyal, that's WongaGyal, on Instagram as well as on TikTok and Twitter, though Instagram is really my main hub, my main community. If you're also interested in digital marketing, social media management, content creation tips, and those kind of things, please feel free to also follow We Are Wonga on Instagram, as well as wearewonga.com, the website, and listen to WongaGyal, the podcast, which, I have to plug my own podcast. So yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Naomi.
So it's Naommings food blog on Instagram, and yeah, that's my main platform. Look out for a blog, a physical blog website coming April 2024.
Definitely will be looking out for it. And for our viewers, thank you very much for listening. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw tonight. Whether day, morning, noon, or night, whenever you watch this. And remember to open your mind, try different things, and continue to taste Jamaican cuisine. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye, and see you in our next episode.
This has been an episode of the Vision Seekers podcast. Together we can create a society that benefits us all. Send us an email at thevisionseekers.podcast@gmail.com. Find us on YouTube and Instagram at The Vision Seekers Podcast, and follow us on Twitter at Vision Seekers JA. We look forward to hearing from you.